morning, Vietnam. Haha, this is the Pop Culture Corner. And people, I am just ecstatic, excited, amazed. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Big Drip. And to my left, I have my co-host, my co-creator, my technical wizard, and you know what? Dare I say, my friend. Right, Drizzle? Can you holler at the people one time for the one time?
I sure can. So, the nicknames I didn't have a part of. It's been forced and thrust upon me. I guess I will. I'll take it in stride and see where it goes. But my name is T-Y-A-K, Light Drizzle, right? Light Drizzle. Okay, we'll see.
Make 'em moist, baby.
We'll see where that goes. So yeah, we're here. We're a new podcast. Like you said, it's the Pop Culture Corner. Where can they hear us? Where can they hear us besides?
Where can they hear us?
Besides on Spotify, besides seeing us on YouTube, where are we hoping to be?
Where I'm hoping to be. First of all, I want to be on that top page of YouTube. Yes. I want to be on that trending page. I'm coming for PewDiePie as far as subscribers go, and Spotify, I'm coming for Joe Rogan.
Yes.
Joe Rogan, watch your back. I'm coming for your neck, player.
Yeah. So we're working on a deal, trying to get on Apple Podcasts, as well as Google Play, and I believe the other ones are Overcast and Pocket Cast. But right now we're working with Spotify and YouTube, so you can hear us on Spotify or experience the whole show on YouTube, and that will be live at 4 p.m., 5 p.m. We're uploading at 4, should be available by 5 on Sunday. Well, today.
Yeah. If you're listening in, then it's already uploaded because you're hearing us now.
Yes.
All right.
So let's get this thing started.
This is the Pop Culture Corner, ladies and gentlemen, and please bear with me because the excitement is real. You know, the passion is real, the love is real. So I just want to, like Drizzle, if I may, the Big Drip just wants to give you guys a rundown of what we'll be talking about today and what you got yourself into. So to begin with, to start off, because this man was a legend, and in my community,
yes,
he for everybody, let's not get this one twisted, but for our community, my community, he really changed the game, and that's King T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
Wakanda forever. And, rest in peace to him and everything he did, because I just want to touch on this real quick. The first time I watched Civil War and Black Panther showed up on screen, my inner child just, ecstatic because, we not for nothing, but we don't have too many black superheroes, and Black Panther is by far the biggest of them.
Especially at the time when he came in, there wasn't much. His intro into Civil War, I think, was great, and I think Boseman, the way he embodied the character was truly one of a kind, and he's not just known as Black Panther. I mean, he played a lot of pivotal black characters.
Correct. He was Jackie Robinson. Yeah. He was also James Brown. Two huge icons in the black community. And, this man really, just speaking strictly, because I don't know the man personally, obviously. Big Drip ain't famous. Not yet. Haha. He embodied the character, if you ask me, perfectly. There was that search for justice and righteousness, but there was also that humility that you want to see in a king.
Yeah.
I
do.
And it true superhero qualities, if you ask me.
Yeah. So let's have a moment of silence for the king, and then we'll really get started.
R.I.P.
All right. Let's get going.
King T'Challa. Back to the smiles, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the happy-go-lucky Big Drip and Light Drizzle.
Yeah.
So to start it off, what would you like to talk first, Light Drizzle? So we have many options today. We're going to talk consoles. We're going to talk New Mutants. Yep. We're going to talk about breaking news within the MCU, DCEU news that we got throughout this week.
Yeah, and there was a lot of news that came through this week, so I'm really excited.
As am I.
So I think we can start off with console wars, because that's just so you guys do know, Justice, aka Big Drip, he's the more focused on video games. He is the anime guy, the animated
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
animated stuff from the DC and from the Marvel. He's your go-to. Vast knowledge.
Vast knowledge, my friends.
Yeah.
So okay, thank you, Drizzle. I appreciate that introduction, man.
Yeah.
That was very humbling and very spirit uplifting. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to talk because we got some big news this week, right? We got next gen price announcements, also release date announcements, which is huge. So I just want to throw you guys the flat out information before we have a discussion on it, right? So PS5 drops November 12th of this year, 2020. A little bit of sunshine on this horrible year, i.e.
Yes.
So the digital version is going for $399.99. Amazing price tag. The disc version is going for $499.99. Okay. Now, the piece of trash, literal dumpster-looking Xbox Series X is going for $499.99 off the rip, just because Microsoft is, I don't know, I guess $100 billion isn't enough, so they just want to jack up that price for a console that legitimately looks like a garbage can. It will probably play very similarly. I could honestly take my controller, plug it into the dumpster outside of your house, and get more entertainment out of the raccoons and rats and flies that come out of it than I would out of any Microsoft system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we know where you stand on the console wars.
PlayStation, baby.
Yeah. So as a question, because I'm not so familiar with the video games and the consoles and everything. Yep. So what's the difference between so you gave me two price tags.
Yep. What's
the difference between what is a digital console and what is a disc console?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked. And, anybody else out there that's also curious, tune in, listen up. So the original design of the PS5 is a digital version. They want to do away with physical copies of games altogether.
Rest in peace, GameStop.
And they're a piece of trash, too. Just real quick, I can't stand GameStop. Anyways, so that's the original design of the system. They would like to do away with physical copies and strictly do everything online. Gameplay online, game purchasing online, etc., so forth. Now, for the sake of just an example, for your sake, so what I'm guessing is Sony got a lot of complaints. We can't put discs in anymore, and that's not fair, and blah, so on and so forth. So, okay, we'll make another console, but we're going to throw another $100 on it just for the inconvenience, just for the fact that we're essentially doing you a favor. So they threw another $100 on it. Now, all that will be, the disc version is essentially just what you've known consoles to look like.
Okay.
And that's really what it breaks down to.
So I have a friend. His name's Jack, and we're gonna get him on the show. Probably in October.
Yeah. Sneak peek. Look at that little teaser for y'all. We're having a guest soon.
Yeah.
Okay?
But he had let me know that there was an issue with pre-ordering the PlayStation, and that there was something shut down. I'm not 100% sure, but something shut down, and just all the pre-orders, anyone who pre-ordered or something like that, it went away. And there's such a high demand for this, these next-gen consoles, that it literally broke the internet.
Yes.
Or
yes. And that's it. That was the answer to you just answered your own question. Like, Drizzle, you're a smart cookie.
I try.
Hopefully you don't crumble under this pressure.
I will try.
Again, you answered your own question. It's the second, the literal second that pre-order was available, them bad boys sold out. My man's, shout out Lil Trickle, he went online to pre-order his console.
Okay.
Decided, let me check somewhere else real quick for something. He refreshed the page. They were sold out. Couldn't pre-order the console anymore. Now he has to wait for it to actually release.
Oh, so I'm not, like I said, I'm not a video game person, but with everything that's coming out on these consoles, with games becoming more, involved, the worlds are so detailed. It's kind of like playing through your own movie. It's got me even interested, whereas the last console I owned was a PlayStation 3, and I used it for just Blu-rays because it was Blu-ray accessible.
Yeah, and at the time that Blu-ray was still brand new, spanky new, heavy. Yeah, so actually
it was. So I'm just checking this. So it was GameStop that had the issue. So,
yes.
so pretty much what happened was, GameStop lost everyone's pre-orders. So
which once again, that just brings me back to my point that GameStop is trash. And any gamer out there watching and or listening, I know you agree. Like Drizzle, I could go buy a video game from GameStop, open it, put it in, play for literally 5 minutes, bring it back to the store, and they will offer me $5 worth of store credit on a $60 game I literally bought 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think I've heard all the seen all the memes about that. So let's get into. I want to ask you a couple questions about the Spider-Man Miles Morales game.
Oh my God! Yes, please do.
So the gameplay demo came out.
Okay, it was beautiful.
It was. So the questions I have about the game are: is it connected to the original Spider-Man game that came out? I don't know, what is it, a year ago or something like that?
About 2 years now. About 2 years.
So is it at all connected to that? And if I am playing the new Spider-Man Miles Morales game on PlayStation, can I play with Joe on Xbox?
Okay, so first and foremost, play Spider-Man in that entire series is a PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, that's PlayStation exclusive?
Exclusive.
Oh, okay.
So and also side note, the Avengers game that just came out, they introduced Spider-Man as a downloadable character, and he is PlayStation exclusive as well because of that deal that they have with Insomniac making the PlayStation Spider-Man games for PlayStation 4.
Okay.
Now that you say that, so throughout the story of the original Spider-Man game, Spider-Man PS4 as it's beloved known as, you meet Miles. And he plays a part in the story. And you also play as Miles, but he's just still a regular kid, and it's just one of those story-focused missions, right? So that right there, now you can tell this was all planned, and that they really had this ready mapped out already for us, So they have you play as Miles. They introduce him. They make him. They give that dynamic of Peter Parker kind of taking him under his wing.
Right, little Easter egg for what's to come later.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now my understanding is the beginning of, because Miles isn't as well known as Peter is.
Of course.
So you still need to do his origin story, right? So I believe, now don't quote me on this because we still have little information on the game, but I believe that the opening of that game, Spider-Man Miles Morales, will include his origin, how he got bit, and
so on and so forth.
And his training, and I believe you'll see a cameo from Peter once again, kind of teaching him the ropes to become Spider-Man.
Right. So like I said, I'm super excited. I've really never been excited for a game besides the Avengers game that just came out. I'd like to play it. And I heard it's there's some people don't like certain aspects. Some people like a lot of the aspects.
Well, there
mostly.
will always be complaints.
Right. But so my other question was, I guess this goes for other games. So maybe Avengers. If I am playing on PlayStation, can I play with Xbox?
Yes. So crossplay is a thing outside, as long as the game is not exclusive to that console.
Okay.
As long as the game is, i.e. Call of Duty. Call of Duty is available on damn near every console there is. That will crossplay compatible is a thing. It's relatively new. Don't quote me on this, but I want to say it's about 2 months or so that they started doing this, and that also includes PC gamers.
Oh, the really
which really just jacks up my intimidation level because no regular guy, Joe Schmo, doesn't play on PC. You know what I mean? Like that fat kid with the pimples and the neck beard and the bad back and the what's the hand thing?
Arthritis.
Carpal tunnel. Severe carpal tunnel. That's the guy playing on PC. And he, on the outside world, he's a disgusting, fat, really sweaty, greasy, neck beard. But in the video game, he's a man to be feared. He's a legend.
All right. And listen, we're not talking about any single person.
No, well, you know who you are. Let's be real for a second. You guys know who you are. Listen, Big Drip's not here to pander. Big Drip don't pander. All right? If you got your feelings hurt by that, hit the gym. Take a shower.
Yeah.
Change your clothes. Get some shaving kits.
All right. Reel it in, Big Drip. Reel it in. Reel it in.
Big Drip is passionate.
So on to our next topic. So now, does the Xbox and the PlayStation come out on the same day?
It does not. November 12th for the PlayStation, which is the only date I care about. November 10th for the piece of garbage.
Xbox.
Yes.
Series X.
Imagine that. Can I just touch on that real quick? Imagine a company worth a man that owns said company, known for being absurdly rich. There's a website dedicated to spending his money, and no matter what you do, you cannot spend it all in one day. And still have the audacity to advertise, push, and release a piece of garbage and then throw a $500 price tag on it.
Hey, that's the world, you know.
And people are going to buy said piece of garbage.
Yeah, well, listen, you know, I'm sure there are people that feel opposite of you.
Yeah, and you're not welcome.
You are very much welcome here.
We don't want your company. We want your money.
So on to some stuff I want to get into.
Breaking news?
Not necessarily breaking news, but this is something that's been going on for a while, and I do want to bring you in on it.
Okay.
Right. So I don't want you to get too passionate about this, but
that's asking a lot.
Yes, Rayfisher and Warner Brothers are in a little bit of a battle right now, and Rayfisher doesn't like how he was treated on set from not only JossWhedon, but John Berg and what seems to be the mastermind of the whole, ordeal is GeoffJohns. And GeoffJohns was originally brought in to be like the Kevin Feige of the DCEU.
Yes.
And it looks like he played a part in a lot of the problems of the DCEU, which surprises me because his comic books are fantastic. Yes. I like GeoffJohns, but the information that's coming out, it's got me in this little frenzy in my body, in my head. Yeah. In my head, I don't know. I would like to, I stand with Rayfisher, and I want to make that clear. Yes. Because no one should be treated like that on set. No one should be treated like that in the world. And, racial inequality, it shouldn't even be a thing in 2020.
Well, unfortunately it is. But if I may, I believe a lot of what happened on that set and between JossWhedon and what's his name, GeoffJohns, correct?
GeoffJohns.
GeoffJohns, excuse me, and Rayfisher. I believe a lot of that came from pressure. The fact that it was such a scrambled mess when they brought in JossWhedon that there was this pressure and this hurry up. You don't have now as a director, that must be just absurd, because directors want to polish and they want to make sure this is the Justice League movie we're talking about. And Joss Whedon's a huge nerd that loves all these things, and he doesn't want to rush anything out. That being said, I don't believe that it had anything to do with the fact that Rayfisher is black. I think everybody was under a lot of pressure and a lot of pressure, just essentially pressure.
Scrutiny as well from the studio.
Yes.
And I see where you're coming from. I do. Because when you're making a big blockbuster movie like Justice League, especially after the Zack Snyder's family tragedy, you do have a lot of pressure on you. But I don't think we know the whole story yet. And I just wanted to touch on it because, Rayfisher, he wants a third-party investigator, not a Warner Brothers,
naturally,
not a Warner Brothers lawyer that gets paid,
by
Warner Brothers to come and investigate this. He wants someone that's not biased. They brought in someone that was, under the Warner Brothers umbrella. He wasn't happy with it, but Warner Brothers went on record pretty much calling Rayfisher a liar, and they set themselves up. They I don't know who submitted that PR release, but it's a total disaster because Rayfisher came out and, tweeted and put some videos. He's a big guy on Twitch. So he put out some videos that kind of, the proof is in the pudding, the whole thing's a mess. And I kind of want to just, as soon as we got, what seems to be Affleck back. We got Cavill back now, signing a new 3-picture deal. Now
I would like to touch on later.
Yeah, and now, I mean, what's really the future of Cyborg in this story? Because
nothing. If Rayfisher is a smart man, again, now I am willing to bet that this man is not being whipped on stage. They're not calling him. They're not dropping M-bombs. They're not telling him, hey, give me a cup of coffee, boy.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a little bit of disrespect. And, I just don't like the way, not for nothing, but rich people have this, like, mentality where they feel as if they're part of my language on this one, but their ass should be kissed at all times because, don't you know who I am kind of feeling?
Yeah.
My man, you are getting paid millions of dollars to play a robot in a movie. And now this Cyborg isn't just like some side character in the DC universe. He's a big character, meaning he's going to be around for a while. My man, we're talking multi-million dollars, and you can't handle with a tad bit of disrespect. But I do that for minimum wage.
I feel like it's weird because we should have like the opposite kind of views.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry, but I have no sympathy for the rich complaining about stuff. Sorry, Pimp Juice. You go home to a $10 million mansion and a yacht in your backyard with your supermodel wife and your Ferrari.
Yeah.
I go home to the ghetto.
I don't think Rayfisher's going home to any yachts. But he could possibly have just ended his career for this. And that's
very much so, yes,
very
possible.
It's a shame because I did like him as a character. He was a little bit monotoned, but I think he lost his enthusiasm. But we'll see when the Snydercut comes out. We'll see what the extra scenes are. I'm excited to see. I mean, because Zack Snyder went out and said that, he's the heart and soul of this movie, which I think that's where it comes into play, is he was supposed to be a heart and soul of a movie, and then you go to the release and you go to the screenings and you're a side character. And I think, that must hurt.
Yes, but that also leads back to my point. Now, this is very likely that the point that I just made about the ass-kissing thing. Now, so Zack Snyder spends this whole time, hey, you are the heart and soul of this movie. I need you for this. He's hyping him up. He's telling him that you're the biggest part of this movie. Cyborg is the Justice League in this movie. Now, Snyder's gone. JossWhedon comes in and says, oh, sorry, Pimpin', we're going to scratch that.
Yeah.
And we're going to switch everything up. Oh, but I was special, and I want to remain special. And it's that same kind of arrogance,
I see what you're saying.
And
I'm
willing to bet that is what happened, and now he's crying victim.
I guess we'll see, and we'll see, and we'll see, and we'll see. Yeah. The next thing I did want to talk about, so I'm gonna run through a couple things with you guys. The Boys, the Amazon Prime series.
Excellent series.
Very, 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 very great. Episode 5 just released, a couple days ago. It was unreal. If you haven't seen it already, check it out. There's a couple not so safe for your children or for work scenes, I should say, but it's a really good show. It's kind of like what you were just saying. It's what if superheroes were famous and they were corporate, entities rather than Captain America who does this just for the the moral standpoint.
Yes, I believe it's what Brightburn wanted to be, but couldn't execute in just one movie. It's a much smarter, because they essentially have the same kind of idea. Let's take a well-known superhero, so well-known that we don't need to use his name, but we can kind of put him in the same scenario and people who will know who he is, i.e. Superman. And they executed it much better than Brightburn because they have a whole show to flush this out rather than just 1 hour-and-a-half movie.
Yeah, The Boys is actually a comic series.
Oh, no. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to me.
Yeah,
Wow.
The Boys is actually a comic series, but that's exactly what it is, though. It's them taking these well-known characters. Because you can tell when you see the show that
Who's who.
that Superman is this guy,
Yes.
Aquaman is this guy,
Yes.
Wonder Woman. I mean, the girl, they literally look like these characters.
I noticed that. So Big Joe hasn't actually watched the show itself yet, but
Yeah, so I am, not to cut you off.
Yes, of course, by all means, do your thing.
I'm definitely more of the TV and the film aspect.
Yes.
He's definitely a film guy as well, but
Yes.
I don't want to belittle you, but I'm definitely more of the TV movie, whereas he's the animated anime, and we both have a really vast understanding of the source material and the comics. So that's, if you see any discourse, that's where it comes from. But we want it to be we have these conversations on the phone. We have them on a regular basis. So if he's asking questions or I'm asking questions, it's literally because this is what we do, and now we're just recording it.
Yeah. And you know those same questions. And we had spoken about this off camera. You know those same questions as i.e. when he was just asking me questions about games, and I asked him questions about TV shows. It's also to represent you out there, the viewer and or listener, that may also have these same questions, you know?
Yeah.
So we try to keep it a broad aspect so that way everybody can get a piece of what they're looking for. So I want to come to you with straight facts, questions, answers, also
rumors, speculation.
Yes, and entertainment as well.
Yeah. Big Drip is very entertaining.
Big Drip is comedy gold.
But yeah, so The Boys, season 2, episode 5 just released. If you haven't watched the series yet, you're missing out. So go check it out on Amazon Prime.
I feel like that was a personal attack against me because I haven't watched the series yet.
No.
Are you mad at me like Drizzle?
I'm not mad.
All right. He ain't mad.
But, you know, Big Drip spends his time watching The Office when he could be watching several thousands of good hours of television.
That's what she said?
Yes. Also, in other news, Marvel. So we'll get down to some Marvel news, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So Chris Hemsworth.
Oh.
Those abs, right?
The hunga.
He has dropped a little bit of a tidbit saying that he will be in the MCU for the foreseeable future, and he far past Thor: Love and Thunder.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. You know, with all the bad news MCU wise that we've been getting, you know, Captain America's gone, Tony's dead, Natasha's dead. You know, we're getting a lot of bad news. I don't see Clint coming back anytime soon. I think he's gone as well.
I think after the Hawkeye Disney Plus show, he'll be transitioned out,
which
and
I'm very excited for, by the way.
Kate Bishop will kind of take the lead.
You believe so? Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Really? Okay, that ought to be interesting.
Yeah, the show's supposed to be him training her.
Yes, which we saw a little bit of in Endgame.
And transitioning going forward.
Yes.
So,
can I just speak on that for a second? Because that's something I wanted to speak on. You know, Hawkeye is just, in my opinion, the MCU really just did that character perfectly. They kept him in the background, but still gave him somewhat major roles. You know, he carried the gauntlet. He really tied
I think him and
well.
I think him and Natasha tied the team together.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely. I'm just a huge fan of what they did with him because he's very much a Falcon-esque character where he's just. There's a lot of people arguing, lame. Why is he even here? What do you spell? Oh, you got a bow and arrow. Oh, Boy Scout honor. You know, nobody really cares about him. But I think they did an excellent job with who he is as a character in the MCU, and I'm a fan.
Yeah, and I think the MCU did well in the aspects where when they were first starting out, they needed to cast these big names. Yeah. Right. So they got Jeremy Renner, Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. Chris Evans was. I mean, you could say he was a big name just because people knew him.
Yes. But he wasn't huge like that.
No.
At the time they got Edward Norton to play Bruce Banner. Edward Norton's huge.
And then Scarlett Johansson. Everyone knows her for other reasons because she is beautiful. No, and she's I think she's a great actress.
She is a great actress.
But now they can focus. Now they kind of focus on getting little, stars that maybe you don't know, but they turn them into
huge stars.
Huge multi-deal actors, and then they go on to do great things, and it's like a stepping stone.
That's how you have to do it. You have to establish yourself first. So before the MCU was anything, they needed a big name. They needed a well-known, beloved actor to start this off. If they just put some random and casted him as Iron Man for the first movie, I promise the MCU would not be where it is now.
No,
I
and
promise you this.
I think Robert Downey Jr. As far as characters that were made for people,
absolutely.
Just and his personal struggle before that,
yes,
it really kind of
lines up with Tony Stark's.
It really does, and I think that also, it brought a realism to the character.
Most definitely.
And Tony, I mean, and that's the problem right there, right?
Yeah.
They called him Tony.
Yeah.
Robert, even to this day, where he goes to hospitals and he'll supply robotics for people who lost limbs and little kids who lost, he is Tony Stark, and I hope to see him in Black Widow. Rumor is there's a slight cameo,
but it's highly doubt that.
No, it's like a he's in the credits for the movie. So
Really?
yeah, but
Really?
it's gonna be a flashback scene because the Black Widow is set between Civil War and Endgame. So there's
Well, that's quite a time gap. No,
Well,
Civil War and Endgame.
yeah,
Like
I mean,
time wise.
yeah. So it's somewhere in between there. We just don't know.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Also in Marvel news,
Yes.
also the Defenders, Luke Cage,
Yes.
Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones. The rights are expiring on Netflix pretty soon.
What will they do?
What will they do? What would you want to see them do? Would you want to see them continue the story, or would you want a reboot?
Well, first and foremost, let me just make it abundantly clear once again that I myself do not watch too much television shows. I stick to movies and animations. That being said, I know all of these characters, with the exception of Jessica Jones. I don't really know her too well. That being said, as far as my two main concerns, well, three actually: Daredevil, Punisher, Iron Fist. Daredevil and Punisher hold huge parts in the Marvel Universe just in general. Especially Daredevil. He's an Avenger. He's really a big part of Marvel in general. Iron Fist is just a personal favorite of mine. I really like the character. I like the kung fu aspect of him. I just think he's a cool character. Mm-hmm. That being said, he was not taken very well. The actor who had played him and the show itself was not taken too well.
It wasn't received too well. No. But I'm an optimistic kind of person, so I saw the good in the show. I liked it. I liked where it left off, and that I would like to see these series get continued. I just don't know if it is possible. With rights, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know really what goes on behind the scenes, but I just don't know if they can continue it. But they came off a critically acclaimed season 3 of Daredevil.
I believe the entire show is critically acclaimed.
Yeah, it's an
to my understanding.
Excellent series. John Bernthal's Punisher did really well.
Excellent.
I think that character would need to stay on a TV show, kind of.
I believe so, huh?
Yeah.
I think you can introduce him into the MCU. It just depends on which movie you put him in. You can't put him in like a Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man's too lighthearted for that. But now that Disney has Fox and X-Men and all these things, you can introduce Punisher in maybe a Venom movie, possibly something that's more gritty to begin with, possibly a Deadpool movie. Be a great crossover.
I think I like to see the character fleshed out a little bit more, and I like to see what the Netflix series did with him was they let you know why he does what he does, why he is the way he is,
yes.
And they brought you almost into the mind of the Punisher, and
Frank Castle.
Yes, so Frank Castle, they brought you into the mind of him, and you could see, what you put yourself in your shoes, like you see why his motivations are so strong, and he will not stop until the job is done.
Yes, and he's not Punisher is very much a very deep character. He's not a one-dimensional kind of guy. It's not just he's doing this for the sake of good. There's a lot of deep-rooted things there that need television kind of time to really flesh out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters that just can't be one movie kind of people. You either need to put them in a TV show or secure multiple movies right to begin with.
Yeah.
Because Punisher is very much one of those characters. He's too deep. There's too much there that you need to flesh out, or nobody's gonna really care for it.
Right, exactly. And I would like to see Luke Cage, and I would like to see the whole Defender team. Maybe they do a big screen, big budget version of it. Maybe they continue it on Disney Plus. Whatever they do, I think the MCU is more of like the adult child that I don't really need to babysit anymore. And whatever they do with it, I'm sure it'll be great. Yep. Which brings me to my next subject, is
DC.
The DCEU.
The biggest disappointment of my life, outside of what I've done with it thus far.
Yes.
In my life, that is.
I'm a big Zack Snyder fan. Oh. So that's the difference between Big Drip and myself is, I'm a real big Zack Snyder fan. I'm a big part of the Zack Snyder movement, the Snyder Cut. Whereas
just 2 words to change your mind: sucker punch.
Yeah. Okay. So there is that movie, and it does exist. So, we will breeze by that and pretend that it doesn't. There's a huge cult following for that movie.
Yeah.
By the
Well,
way.
there's always cult followings for trash movies. That happens very frequently. The Room has thousands.
I know.
Club.
Yeah. Well. But yeah. So anyway. So Superman, Henry Cavill fans can rejoice. He has signed.
Amen.
He has signed a 3-picture deal, which doesn't necessarily mean a Man of Steel 2 movie. I think so. What I gather is he's going to be more of like the Hulk in the MCU, where he'll play supporting roles but almost co-leads.
Yes.
And he'll have his own little arc in other movies, like maybe Shazam 2.
Yes.
Black Adam 2, the Flash movie, or the next team up Justice League style-esque movie.
Yes.
This is really big though, because we've been waiting for this
Confirmation on what's going to happen to Superman.
Right, because I didn't want to. I don't know about you, but I did not want to recast Superman.
No, nor did I. I want to go on record. I like Henry Cavill. He fits the character just fine. He has that. It falls down to your boy Zack Snyder. Man of Steel, there was a lot of criticism for Man of Steel. Even though Big Drip personally doesn't mind the movie, I like it. But a lot of people do. There's a lot of criticism because people don't want to see a dark and gritty Superman. He's known as the Boy Scout of superheroes. He's supposed to be that way.
And I understand that. I think they were coming off The Dark Knight, and they liked the tone of The Dark Knight. But then they criticized Batman vs Superman for being the dark and gritty, kind of like The Dark. It was it's a real weird situation, but I know in my heart that the character that he started in Man of Steel deserves to get his arc finished, and
at the
very least. So I'm excited. I do have a question for you.
Okay.
So because this brings me to the next topic, is Ben Affleck seems to now backseat the attitude on Ben Affleck here.
Okay. I will try.
Backseat it. Ben Affleck has been rumored to have signed a deal with HBO Max to continue the Batman story on an HBO Max platform. And we all know that The Flash is going to kind of reinvent the DCEU. It's going to be, bring in the multiverse.
Yes.
It's going to connect the dots between, Tim Burton's Batman films to, Ben Affleck's Batman film. It'll also make it so the general audience understands that Robert Pattinson's Batman can exist at the same time as...
It's a classic DC cop-out move. They've been doing it for years. They do it in their comics, their games, their movies.
Right.
That's DC 101.
Right. And, so the ball is in Ben Affleck's court of owls.
Yeah. I just got that. That was really good.
To do, to continue this. And I do think a lot of the reason that he backed out of the Batman role was, one, at the time his drinking was a little bit of an issue.
Yes.
But I also think that Zack Snyder stepping away and all that kind of just disinterested him in the character.
Yeah, fair enough. On top of that movie was not received very well, and yes, he does have some supporters, including yourself. But there was a lot of people, including me and everybody I know, that absolutely despised him as the character. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry, man, but you are not Batman. I'm sorry, you're just not Batman. You can't do it.
Ben, you're my Batman.
We're talking about the guy that was in the Jenny from the Block video. He was in Jay and Silent Bob as like a goofy Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, listen. I'm a Ben Affleck guy. I think he does the character well. You don't, and that's what's good about this. Is a little bit of both. So
drama for you.
I do know that you do like what you've seen from the Robert Pattinson Batman.
Oh God, don't get me started on that. My goodness. Now I know I am not the only one who, when they first heard that, sucked their teeth and went, the Twilight guy? Really?
Yeah.
Twilight? But my God, I don't know if you guys watch. I'm sure you've seen the video by now, the trailer. But me and like Drizzle were right there day one watching DC Fandom. We set up a tent. We baked some cookies. We made some hot cocoa, and we snuggled under a blanket. We watched DC Fandom for about 7 hours.
And somehow we ended up at the vet.
Somehow.
Yeah.
That dog, silly goof. But that trailer, my God, I am vengeance.
I am vengeance.
My goodness.
I think Matt Reeves is going to do really, really well.
I do too. And based off of his panel in DC Fandom, he seems passionate about the character, and he seems to know, of course, when you're offered, millions of dollars to make a movie, you're going to do your research. But he seems to really, I think that's crucial when making a comic book movie, is that you, the director, actually like the character you're making a movie about. You don't have to be a lifetime fan, but when you do your research, it actually piques your interest. And like, wow, this is a cool character.
And you know what I like that he said was that Gotham City needs to be a character, and he's 100% right. Is Gotham City needs? I think Chris Nolan, kind of with his realistic approach and what he was doing with The Dark Knight, I think that Gotham did what it needed to do, but I do think that Gotham City needs to play a little bit more of a part in a Batman film, a series, whatever. Gotham is a living, breathing character, and if you don't do Gotham City the correct way, your film has already lost something.
Yes, most definitely, because, the whole point of it is, and I think there's large potential in this, right? Because you're right, Gotham does need to be, I wouldn't use the word character, but it does need to be fleshed out. And you really need to understand what's happening on the underbelly of this city and why Batman is a necessity, why Batman needs to be there in the first place, why he needs to do what he does, why he puts himself through so much for a city that doesn't even appreciate him, for a city that's trying to lock him up. Not yet. And but that's by far my favorite Batman point is when he's still a myth and he's still a legend and the cops are still hunting him. That's the best Batman, if you ask me.
Yeah, and I think that I like that they're gonna do more of a detective style Batman, a more noir driven.
Yes.
Chris Nolan did the tech Batman where it was he was brilliant. Playboy. Yeah. He knew how to play both sides of Batman, and he did. He did a good Batman. That was my Batman originally.
Oh yeah.
Chris Nolan's Batman.
He's still my Batman until I see how Robert Pattinson does. Why am I drawing a blank? Patrick Bates.
No.
Patrick Bateman is still my Batman. I don't know why.
Robert Pattinson?
No. Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Who? Christian Bale?
Christian Bale. Jesus.
I might have to edit that.
No, keep it.
I can't believe you just forgot.
I know. I just had the illest brain fart ever. I blame you, Logan. Puppy. Adorable face.
Yes. So, yes, Christian Bale is a lot of people's Batman, but I do think, Ben Affleck did win a poll on Twitter and Facebook for the best Batman on screen.
Ew.
Yeah, he did.
Ew.
He won. I loved it.
That's insane. Now, might I just ask, how did that happen? He has 2 movies. Both of them were not... 3 movies where he was Batman. Oh, because of the
Justice League
appearance in Suicide Squad?
No. You have Batman vs. Superman.
Yes.
Justice League. Oh, yeah, and then Suicide Squad.
Which was like 30 seconds in total. But he doesn't even have a standalone movie. You don't even know him as a character yet.
Which is what I found weird about the why he won. It did kind of strike me as weird because he is Batman. I get that, but he beat Keaton, he beat Bale.
Yeah, and that's insane.
Yeah, but he did
Adam West.
Yeah, but hey, listen. So enough of the Ben Affleck.
Wait, I would one more key point that I just want to bring up with Affleck and Snyder. I think a major problem is with a character like Batman. If you're gonna put him in a world of magic, gods, monsters, and all this fairy tale stuff that is known, you need to establish him first. He needs a standalone before you throw him into something like that. Batman is a realist. Batman deals with legitimate
Criminals,
criminals, crime between what is essentially normal people. So before you throw him with a godlike being like Superman and a literal god Wonder Woman, you need to establish him first and flesh him out a little bit.
I agree. I do agree. I didn't necessarily love the take that they I didn't like the road that they went to get to where they needed to be, but for what it is, I do like the Snyderverse, and I'm guilty of it, and I will never stop living it. I can't wait. I can't wait for the Snyder Cut.
By all means, like Drizzle, dream your dreams.
Yeah.
Just don't.
And
I'll be here to catch you when it falls.
All right, and we'll see, because it drops in 2021 on HBO Max. It'll be 4 1-hour episodes, but you will have the option at the end of the series to watch it all as one film.
And we'll be here to review it.
Yeah, of course. And people overseas, don't worry if you don't have HBO Max capabilities. They are working something out so that you can be able to view it. Please don't pirate the Snyder Cut. If we want this to keep going forward and we want to keep fleshing out, we got to show Warner Brothers that there's a demand for it. So don't pirate the Snyder Cut. And
money talks, my friends.
Money talks. Let's get into a little bit of... So... She-Hulk was cast.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited.
A relatively unknown name. She was in Orphan Black. This comes days after they found their director. And what do you think about it?
I'm excited. I'm curious as to how they're gonna come across this, as far as introducing She-Hulk as an actual character. Will she, as in the comics, will she be Bruce's cousin? How will she gain that gamma radiation? Because I'm not a She-Hulk expert, but I do know the basics on her. She's an interesting character.
Yeah.
Well enough. I think, honestly, if I'm being perfectly honest with myself, I feel like there's a lot more. I know they're looking to make some more female-driven superhero shows and or movies. I just feel like She-Hulk is not... that wouldn't be my first choice. If I was Marvel, I would like to see some more characters, as Captain Marvel has her own stuff going on. I think they should focus more on her. She's a great character. Maybe Spider-Gwen, she's a great character. She's a multiverse kind of character, but she is a great character in herself.
Again, Marvel is that adult child that we don't need to worry about.
True. Whatever they drop is going to be at least decent.
At least. And they cast Tatiana Maslany as her name. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, don't.
Maslany?
Yeah, don't yell at me if I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Please don't.
She's from Orphan Black, and they also got, which is I was surprised about this. So Kat Coiro, who directed many episodes for Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Excellent show.
Yeah, so she's going to be helming the show. She'll be directing it, and Jessica Gao is going to be penning the script and will be serving as an executive producer on the show.
Okay.
I am, like you said, I'm not really crazy excited about this, but when Disney Plus starts dropping content,
I'm happy.
I'm always there.
Absolutely, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to assume that it's gonna at very least pique our interest, because again, She-Hulk is not my first choice anyways for a character to start making a show on and put on the silver and or big screen. So right. I think it's gonna be interesting where they go with this. If they'll introduce her to other characters in the MCU, do we see a Mark Ruffalo cameo at some point?
I would hope so.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
And that brings me back to the question of whether or not she's going to be more comic book based. Will she be his cousin?
Yeah.
How she comes across the gamma radiation, becomes She-Hulk to begin with. It ought to be interesting.
Very. And, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Also on Disney Plus, that we've talked about Hawkeye, that show.
Yes. We
got a Loki show coming on Disney Plus.
Yes.
And Captain, I almost said Captain.
Yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I am super excited about that show.
Me too. Absolutely. Out of everything they announced, I believe that by far that's going to be the best of them.
I can't even wait.
Absolutely.
Bringing back, so this show, bringing back the Winter Soldier and Falcon because they saw the dynamic in Civil War that they had.
That
and
little quirky back and forth, they like each other kind of dynamic.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be really cool. You'll be able to see Falcon transition into
Captain America.
Captain America.
Yeah, and I think that's a big way. Falcon, Falcon's lame. Let's just be real here for a second. Big Drip is blunt. Falcon is a lame character, but big old butt. Never trust a big butt and smile. When he puts on the mantle and he grabs the shield, Falcon really he becomes a dope character after that. And the combination of Captain America's fighting style and the wings and his ability to fly and whatnot is I think it's going to be great. And I'm excited to see. Because as far as Endgame did a good job of making Falcon actually somewhat interesting in combat, something they have yet to do.
Yeah, I agree.
That wing stab scene to this day was one of my favorite parts of Endgame. It was amazing to see,
Yeah, but I'm really excited about Disney Plus.
Yes.
Disney Plus, I don't think they did it 1,000% correctly. I don't think they should have dropped The Mandalorian and then waited a year. Then we're going to get The Mandalorian season 2 before we got any Marvel shows.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem like, from a subscriber point of view, there wasn't much for like a whole year, unless you wanted to rewatch, Aladdin and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, so I think I can answer that. So Star Wars has been, although don't get this twisted, Star Wars is a huge name. Obviously, it's Star Wars, but their movies that Disney has done thus far has not been so warmly welcomed as the MCU has. Therefore, okay, let us drop a Star Wars show first. See how that goes, because everybody already hates what we've done for Star Wars thus far anyways. So let's put a Star Wars show first. See how that goes. If it goes well, then we'll put on in, because as of right now, Marvel is their golden
their
egg,
property, yeah.
Their golden egg that they want to do nothing to scrape, scratch, or crack. So we're going to push that off, see how Mandalorian does, the first original Disney Plus show. And it was received greatly. Everybody loves it.
Baby Yoda, baby.
There we go, Baby Yoda. And now
the child.
So now it's time, okay, let's put our MCU shows out there. Now let's put those out there.
Yeah.
Now is the time everybody else likes what we're doing for TV shows.
Yeah, so it looks like we'll still be getting the WandaVision show
dropping this year.
By this year.
Yes.
Which is
I believe November.
Yeah, that's good news. I think it's time. So, in other quick little corp news is I don't really know what's going on with Black Widow. I don't know if it'll drop when it's supposed to. It looks like it might get pushed back. The Tenet release didn't do exactly what they wanted to, which we'll be talking about next week. The Tenet movie and how it's kind of the first movie that really the first blockbuster that came out, and it didn't do so well. It didn't bring people back to the theaters like they wanted, and we'll explore a little bit more of that. So Black Widow, possible video on demand. We'll see.
I'm assuming we're talking a Christmas release.
That's for Wonder Woman got pushed back to Christmas.
Yes, yeah,
so.
Wonder Woman as well. And I'm assuming something the same. Maybe they don't want to release exactly the same time as Wonder Woman, so maybe like a Thanksgiving release. But either way, we're looking at a holiday release for both of these movies.
Yeah, 2020 needs to get out of here. Because if I can't see, I'm having like a withdrawal of comic book and movies.
It's insane. I just want to blame Tom Brady. Because ever since he went to Tampa Bay, it's been downhill since.
The world collapsed.
I swear to you this, like drizzle. He announced he was leaving. It became an official stamp. He's going to Tampa Bay. Bam! That's exactly when coronavirus started to pop its ugly little head in America.
Yeah.
It's insane. I'm going to write him a stern, just an angry, stern letter really telling him what's what. But he's still handsome, and I want to kiss him on the mouth.
Tom Brady, if you're listening.
I love you.
Big Drip's coming, and he wants to talk to you about a couple things.
I love you. Please notice me, senpai.
Big Drip and myself today.
Just for you
guys. We went and saw Fox's, or whoever's it is, because it's very confusing at this point.
New Mutants, baby.
We went and saw New Mutants, and we have a couple things we want to talk about.
I really want to get into this because this was surprisingly good, guys. Now, I keep hearing a bunch of and now not for nothing, but this literally happens with every movie on the planet. A bunch of complaints and crybabies, wah. But dude, I really enjoyed the movie.
And Big Drip can let you know, I was kicking and screaming.
Yeah, he was.
And
I had to literally physically drag him into that theater.
I was not about to go see this movie today, and I ended up going to see it, and I came out with it. Was, like I said, it wasn't a blockbuster. It wasn't a,
It's certainly not Ben Affleck's Daredevil. It's not nowhere near that excellence.
Yeah. So.
All right, let just let that kid go out real quick. So, New Mutants was surprisingly good. Now, I went into it expecting mediocrity. Light Drizzle went in it kicking and screaming and crying like a toddler because he just did not want to watch this movie at all. But he was really excited for Batman vs Superman.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Anywho, it was a surprising good movie. Now, this is something. Now, I told Light Drizzle on our way out of the theater to not say a word to me about the movie because I wanted to wait until we were recording to have the conversation. So me and him have yet to even talk about the movie.
We have not.
Watched.
We have not.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to talk about it.
So Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones, she plays one of the leads, and I think she did really well. She plays like a completely new character. She separates herself from Game of Thrones in a way that's pretty nice. She has an Irish accent. She's all about church. She's all about the church, but
which is strange.
Yeah, I enjoyed the film. I came out with it. I came out with a different attitude. I don't know why critics are ripping it apart necessarily, but I do know why they don't love it. Why not like that it's a movie and it's in theaters?
Yeah, most definitely. And that's also something we wanted to touch on is just that movie experience in general during said pandemic. So we came into the theater. First of all, it's a ghost town. It looks like a
literally we were 2 of 4.
Yes, it looked like East City after Cell came through and he sucked. I know you don't get that reference, but all the other nerds will. It looks like East City when Cell first appeared in Dragon Ball. It's just empty. It's a ghost town, tumbleweeds floating by the whole nine. So we come in and masks on, of course, because safety first, right?
Of course. Keep your masks on, people.
Yep, wear your mask, please. Let's be real for a second. So we come in the theater, we purchase our tickets, we go through. Everything's normal thus far. Go upstairs, and now, mind you, I was being a good egg. Big Drip is usually an outlaw, thug life. But Big Drip was being a good egg. He didn't buy his own drinks or snacks. He didn't sneak anything into the theater. He was going to pay money to AMC to help them out and get something to eat.
Yep.
What was found there, Light Drizzle?
Literally, not even butter for popcorn was available. There was no one at the concession stand. There was one ticket taker, and there was one guy that came in after the movie to clean up. He had some sanitizer, but it was literally skeleton crew. And that was it. They're really not setting themselves up to make any money.
That's where all the money comes. The tickets aren't that expensive.
No, and the ticket price mostly goes to the movie studios.
Yes.
The concessions are where the theater actually makes money.
Absolutely.
So that was a little strange to me.
Yeah. Now, mind you, Big Drip was starving at the time. Honestly, Light Drizzle, if they had just butter out, I would have bought a cup of butter.
That's how hungry we were.
Yeah, it was insane.
However,
chewing on my own fingers during the movie.
Yeah. However, that actually didn't stop us from enjoying it.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So we're gonna get into a little bit of a talk.
Spoiler free.
Yeah, spoiler free talk. I just want to pull up the cast list because I want to talk a little bit more about
each of these actors.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, Light Drizzle does that. I'll give you guys a quick run overview of the movie itself. First of all, it was very well done. Now, I wanted to talk to you about this, Light Drizzle. So, I feel like this movie kind of establishes that superhero and or comic book is not a genre. It is just I don't know even know what to call it.
It's a subject.
Yes, thank you.
It's a subject.
It's a subject. So this is the first comic book movie to have a horror genre slapped on it. And you can kind of notice them trying to do that. And I honestly like it. I honestly like the fact that they're really... So this, I believe this opens new doors, right? So now we can try new comic book movies where it's more drama-based or it's comedy-based or, you know, more of a psychedelic maybe kind of...
like a Legion. Legion on Hulu had like a psychedelic feel.
Yes, absolutely. And I believe Love and Thunder will be similar.
Yeah. So Josh Boone directs the movie. I think he did as good as he could with what they put out.
Yes.
There was a little bit of a, you know, it was a wreck behind the scenes from what I can tell. Maze Williams. I think the hidden gem in this movie was Anya Taylor-Joy. She plays. You don't really get to know their superpower names, like their hero names or their X-Men names.
Yes.
But she plays it's Alana.
Yes.
Yeah. And she kills it. When she gets into it, she's probably the most fun character to watch.
Absolutely. She was the Russian, correct?
She was the Russian.
Yes, absolutely. Her hero name is Magic, by the way.
Oh,
yes,
okay,
yes,
it's Magic.
Yes, and she's a great character, and that's the same character I had asked Light Drizzle while we were watching. Mind you, again, we were talking during this movie because we were literally 2 of 4 people.
Yeah.
And the other 2 people were way behind us, so it was nice, actually.
Yeah, and then...
But as the movie was going, I was watching this character. I was like, wow, she's really cool, and she's very similar to Nightcrawler. And both like she's in that foreign kind of way because Nightcrawler I believe is also Russian or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And she also has that kind of teleportation, sword wielding kind of thing that Nightcrawler.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a physical sword. It was like a metaphysical. Well, it was metaphysical. It was like.
Well, if you remember at the end, when she goes to fight, you'll see the sword itself, and then it bursts a flame.
Yes.
Which was really cool. Her herself as a character is very interesting to me.
Yep. And then so Maze Williams plays Rain Sinclair. Anya Taylor-Joy plays Ilyana Rasputin. Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things plays Sam Guthrie. Alice Braga. We all know Alice Braga. She's in so many things.
Yes.
She plays Dr. Reyes. She was interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done. Performance well done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Blue Hunt is so she plays the main character. She plays Danielle Moonstar, who really the focus is on her story. And she's really the reason all this stuff's happening at the hospital.
Yes.
Yes.
And again, that brings it back to that horror movie aesthetic that we were talking about before. It's very well executed. You know, these actors and actresses are, for the most part, relatively small, right? With the exception of,
I mean, so most of them. So you got Maze Williams. I mean, she's not a small actress, not anymore, because of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
But Anya, Blue, Henry.
Yes.
And then all the rest of the cast are really
characters. Yeah.
Are no named.
Yes, but they did a well job with that. Now that, and I've said this a million times to Light Drizzle, when it comes to my comic book movies, also real quick, also the heroes are relatively unknown. I don't really know any of them as like far as comic book wise or anything of that sort. I really have no idea who they are. But that being said, I've said this a million times and I'll say it again. I like my casting for superhero movies to be unknown actors.
Lesser known.
You know, again, I think that's such a big part about. I'm bringing him back up again. Ben Affleck as Batman. I know him from too many goofy roles for him to be taken seriously as my hands down all-time favorite hero that could ever possibly exist, the Batman. Yeah. Batman means way too much to me to just ignore something of that sort, you know?
I agree. But Ben Affleck's Daredevil, though. How about that?
My God. Now, that's a movie, and I just don't understand how he couldn't recapture that same excellence performance that he I'm not even going to get into it, ladies and gentlemen, because I could talk all day about Ben Affleck's Daredevil and how excellent that it is.
Yeah, that's
I almost got him for a second.
that's a terrible film.
I'm gonna get him to say he loves it.
Yeah,
eventually.
that's a terrible film. But New Mutants.
Back to New Mutants.
Give it a score. I want to hear the score.
Okay.
1 to 10.
Ooh.
No 10s, no 1s.
Ooh.
Because it was not perfect and it was not trash.
Well, in no case scenario was I gonna give it a 10. That's a good question, Light Drizzle. I'm gonna go with 6.5. Why? It was entertaining, right? And that's what you want from a movie. First and foremost, it needs to be entertaining. So it gets on the higher half of the scale. Now, as far as the rest of the points, it doesn't receive a perfect 10 because there's really no time to flush out characters. These are unknown characters, and it's just I feel as if it's an experimental movie. Again, it's
very
the
much
first
so
comic movie to be slapped with a horror title, and these are unknown heroes in a relatively unknown just everything. So
right.
It's experimental.
The story just jumps right into pretty much just wake up into the hospital and that's where the game starts afoot.
Yes. And it's very much just a one story movie. I saw little to no growth in it. It's very much like this movie begins and ends here. That's the end of the story.
Right. Yeah, I agree. There's a couple X-Men references,
which were nice.
Which were nice. They gave it a place in the timeline, if you will.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So, I think Big Drip and I are gonna play a little, not a game, but we're gonna get you familiar with us. We're gonna ask each other a couple questions that have been previously written.
Which I have no idea what said questions are. Light Drizzle did this all by himself.
I did.
Like a big boy.
Like a big boy. I put up my own pants today too. Did you know that?
There might be bugs on the rest of you mugs. There ain't no bugs on me.
So we're just gonna grab our little envelopes.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
yep.
Nice. Oh, get that from the camera. Ha.
So,
drip, baby.
We'll grab our little envelopes, and we will ask each other a couple questions to wrap it up. Okay. And we won't take up too much more of your time, guys. I promise.
Even though I know you don't want us to leave, I know for a fact that you're just craving, wanting more.
Yeah.
Me and Light Drizzle are essentially crack cocaine in your face. You cannot get enough. I might just ruin your life.
Yeah, maybe. We also, remember, guys, we're going to be doing this every Sunday. And we're going to be getting better at it every single episode.
As time goes on. Yeah, no, now if it, I got to say it. This is pretty damn good. We are right now at this moment at an hour and 7 seconds. Oh, I'm sorry, 7 minutes. Yes. Right? And if I say so myself, this was damn good for a first episode. So imagine episode 100. I'm going to blow your socks off.
Yes, literally. Your socks will be on the floor while you're in the corner of the room somehow?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Tears of joy and
How did that
excitement.
But yeah, so the last thing I did want to say about the theater experience was it was
nice.
No, it was nice, but it was desolate, and it felt like an apocalypto theater experience.
Really?
Yeah.
I got the exact opposite. I got kind of the feel of what it's like to be a millionaire and have your own private theater. I mean, me and Light Drizzle walked in, and for the first 20 minutes, nobody was there. It was amazing. Yeah. I loved every second of it. I kicked my shoes off. I was sitting cross-legged.
It was smelly.
Yeah, I almost
took my
smelly. Pants off, yo. To be real with you, man. Your boy was happy.
Yes.
Big Drip was happy with that experience.
No, but yeah, so if you do want to go to the theater, just remember, wear a mask.
Please.
And
for God's sakes, people, wear your mask.
And
this is not a game.
Yeah, and even if you're in a party of like 4 or 5, just separate the seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a lot of people going, so separate yourself. Yeah. Let's get back to normal. So,
please.
With that said, back to normal. I will ask you your first question.
Okay.
All right.
Fingers crossed I can answer this one.
Yeah.
The pressure is on, ladies and gents.
The pressure is on. All right, so Big Drip. What was the comic, video game, or anime that first got you hooked on this kind of industry?
Easy. Naruto.
Oh,
That's easy. Naruto, right off the rip. I was just a poor black child living in the projects, right? Just, we were violent, we were crazy, we were just lunatics. And a friend of mine His name's Axel. Shouts out to him. I don't know if you listen, buddy, but this was my homie. We go way back. And you got to check out this show, man. I was like, what are you talking about? It's like a show about ninjas. I was a child. Of course, you say ninja to me. I was ninja for Halloween, literally, every year of my childhood. To this day, I dress up as ninjas for Halloween. I'm 24. Man, I watched the show and it changed my life. It really did. I remember. So it came out. It aired in America in 2005. I remember this clear as day. I was about 9 or 10 years old. I remember I got into the show. I missed one episode 1 week. It used to air every Saturday on Adult Swim, and I missed an episode 1 week. I cried tears of pain and anguish. My mother came running in the room. Oh my God, what's wrong? She thought I got stabbed or like my puppy died. I missed Naruto and I can't watch it. Next week I gotta. I had no idea what was happening and what was going on. People. I'm gonna I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm gonna have a little anime segment. And the first show I talk is going to be Naruto.
Yeah, so in the future, this is our first one, guys. Remember that. We're just getting our feet wet. But the further we go, we're going to give Big Drip a lot of creative freedom, do some anime segments, some, everything. We're going to allow him to flourish.
Yeah, because Big Drip, just to establish what we're really doing here, Light Drizzle is the technical wizard, and Big Drip is just entertainment.
Pure.
Big Trip is just here for sex appeal, entertainment, and segments.
Yes,
really
segments, yes. Because he's easy to Photoshop.
Yeah,
very easy.
Easy to Photoshop, easy to love, easy to listen to.
Yeah.
I'm just easy in general.
Very.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I think it's time to your turn to ask.
Let's hit the Light Drizzle.
What's my name again?
Light Drizzle?
Light Drizzle. Okay.
Make them moist, baby?
Make them moist or something.
Okay. Okay. All right. Interesting. What are your 3 top comic movies?
My 3 top comic movies.
I know this might be hard to answer. I couldn't even answer that.
See how I acted surprised even though I wrote the question?
It's acting 101.
All right. So my top 3. All right. So number 1 is Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Ooh.
I think that movie.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think that movie is real. It's just so grounded and.
It is.
I was literally on the edge of my seat the whole movie.
Yes.
And it wasn't too crazy magical. There wasn't a lot of special effects.
Very much so.
And it was like a thriller mystery.
Yeah, spy movie.
Spy,
absolutely.
Spy thriller. I hands down, I can't say enough good things about that.
Well, and the first Captain America was known pretty much to be rather boring. So Winter Soldier was a nice change of pace.
Nice change of pace.
Absolutely. A good choice, Light Drizzle. I like
thank
that.
you.
Number 2?
Number 2. So you're not gonna like this.
Oh, Jesus.
So number 2 coming in is the Ultimate Edition.
Oy vey.
The Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman.
Oy.
And there's a reason for it,
I would love to hear.
I am. So if you watch Zack Snyder's 300, if you watch Zack Snyder's,
oh God, he did do that movie. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you watch those movies, you see his style and his the way he films. His cinematography is beautiful. I thought that the cinematography and the way the movie played out, it set up a larger. A lot of people say there was a lot going on. There was too much going on. The beat was off, the tone was off. But if you watch the Ultimate Edition, it puts a lot of it together, but it also sets up what he was going to do in his Justice League arc. And it introduces the Flash. It introduces most of the Justice League with the exception of Green Lantern, but it does it in a way where you're like, whoa, wait, how is the Flash? Why is he already in the Speed Force? How is he already coming back to Bruce? The movie made me want to see more. It made me eager for the future. It made me want to see it.
Okay.
And then when everything happened, it shut it down. But luckily we'll get to see what it started, and I'm excited about that.
So, and now we've had this conversation several times, but I would like to do it on camera. I understand everything you're saying clear as day, and I respect the fact that you like it. But the original plan seems best to me. So the original plan, if I'm correct, was Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Batman's movie, and then a 2-parter Justice League. No?
There wasn't. No, the Batman movie wasn't really. It wasn't. So we don't know where that was going to fit in the overall timeline.
Okay.
But
Right.
Zack Snyder's vision was Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. That's what the studio was supposedly agreed on him. He wanted like a 5-movie arc or something crazy like that. They brought him down to 3, then they brought him down to 2, then they brought him down to 1.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
So that brings me to the point that it's rushed, right? Thus far, the only person we have really introduced and flushed even a little bit is Superman at this point. Batman vs. Superman comes out. That is acceptable because Batman is so incredibly well known. But in that movie, we're introducing Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg,
and
Wonder Woman, Doomsday, Lex Luthor, and I believe
General Swanwick. It comes back, and you kind of like. Because I had a feeling General Swanwick was going to be Martian Manhunter, and that's now confirmed to be the case. So I caught a glimpse of him in that movie, and I was like, wait a second. But you know what?
Yep.
The bell has already been rung. That's a Lex Luthor line at the end of the movie.
For whom the bell tolls. That's a Metallica reference.
Yeah. So that's number 2 for me. Number 3. It's gotta be Endgame the Infinity War and Endgame put together. I can't choose just one because they're both the same movie. They're both the Avengers 3, 4. So I can't distinguish between one or the other. I would need to be if I had to choose one, probably Infinity War, but. I can't pick one.
Can I just go on record and saying I'm incredibly disappointed, Light Drizzle. You did not mention Jennifer Garner as Elektra, Halle Berry as Catwoman, or the legend, the greatest movie to ever exist. You also didn't mention George Clooney's Batman.
Yeah.
Those bat nipples deserve a mention. But on to the next question for the Big Trip.
This is the last question for the Big Trip.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go really topic wise. What's your favorite DCEU movie? No, I'm sorry. What's your favorite upcoming DCEU movie?
What am I most excited for? In other words,
pretty much from what we got from fandom. What's your?
Oh, that's a hard question. My goodness. All right, well, let me just start off by saying I am absolutely stoked for Black Adam.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
The Rock, man. He kills everything. He kills everything.
Damn that. Pardon my language, but, man, that movie looks awesome. That being said, I'm excited for a lot of them. Suicide Squad. Batman.
The screenings for Suicide Squad came in, and they were positive.
They look amazing.
Yep.
And also Black Adam. So it's very hard to pick. It's either Batman or Black Adam. I'm going to go ahead and say Black Adam only because he's fresh and new.
Yeah.
And he's a character I like in general. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The only issue I believe that we're going to have with this movie is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is far too likable to be the bad guy and or anti-hero.
Right. But I think also Black Adam's also a little bit more of an evil anti-hero.
He's more of a villain.
Whereas Ryan Reynolds is more of his Deadpool is a fun anti-hero.
Absolutely. So, it's just Black Adam himself, he is a villain. But the DCEU was trying to bring him into an anti-hero kind of vibe rather than strictly villain.
But I don't know. During fandom when The Rock made his little speech about coming after Superman, I was getting chills. I got chills. I got chills.
Schoolgirl kicking her feet, twirling the phone cord.
Yeah.
I am so excited. And when I saw Dr. Fate.
Oh yeah,
was a wrap.
He got excited. He did.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dr. Fate's a great character. Now, he's one of those characters that have to be nerfed. This homeboy is just on a cosmic godlike power level, as is Black Adam. But I honestly believe that with ease, Dr. Fate, if speaking strictly off comic book powers and or abilities, I honestly believe that Dr. Fate could wipe the floor with Black Adam. Easily.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he's very, very powerful. Now, a lot of people don't. Dr. Fate's relatively unknown, so I just want to touch on him a little bit. But each one of his artifacts is where he drives his power from. So that necklace he wears, his helmet is the main source of power.
Right.
All of his artifacts, similar to Wonder Woman with her lasso and bracelets. Dr. Fate's powers come from all of his artifacts.
Okay.
And he's very, very powerful.
I'm excited to see the JSA on screen, with the whole JSA. I think that's gonna be good. It's like I was saying to Big Drip earlier.
Big Drip, baby.
It's going to be hard to root for the JSA when Black Adam's on screen.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he's too likable.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard a lot of... So if I'm a part of a group on Facebook, it's the Release of Snydercut group, and they're all trashing Suicide Squad, saying, "Oh, we don't want that Marvel."
What, the new one?
The new one, yeah.
Really?
They really dislike the idea of a comedy coming into the DCEU. I think it's going to be a great transition.
Now, this is news to me. Is the Suicide Squad is there like some kind of stamp that's saying that it's going to be very comedic, or?
Yeah.
That's not, to my knowledge, I had no idea that there was even going to be any kind of comedy aspect to it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you could just kind of tell. But Joel Kinnaman said it was like the most fun movie he was ever a part of. A lot of the actors say it was like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, as we already know, Bloodsport, Harley, Polka Dot Man, Peacemaker, King Shark, and Ratcatcher 2 are going to be the lead characters. They'll be the cast that kind of survives
and sticks around
and sticks around long term.
Yeah.
The others are disposable.
Yes.
But a lot, I think there will be a lot of comedy in it.
I think when we say comedy, I think what's going to happen in the movie is that first of all, James Gunn specifically picked the most absurd,
he did,
crazy
he
character,
did.
Low name, absurd Polka Dot Man,
a main character.
Yes,
Polka Dot Man.
I think that just naturally, no matter what you do, there's gonna have to be some jokes in there.
Yeah.
Polka Dot Man. And have you seen John Cena in costume? Of course. We're gonna fun.
He looked goofy, but he also looked really badass.
Yeah, it's
like when
James Gunn, man. That's James Gunn for you. He's a great man.
There's a lot of hate on him too for some of his previous tweets. He's quite
PG. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's quite the controversial topic.
Yeah.
That's why Disney let him go for like 2 months.
Yeah.
they were like, we're gonna let him go, and
that was an empty threat.
We'll pick him back up.
Yeah, it was an empty threat. That was a scare tactic. James Gunn is not. I don't think in any way, shape, or form this man is a bigot, sexist, or any of the above. I believe that he's just not willing to be PC because that's what's cool right now.
Yeah.
What's hip. Nothing. I'm sorry, but nobody's worse than a phony. You could be a bigot, a sexist, a homophobe, whatever you want to call it. But
it's tolerable to a point because you can just shine them out.
At least you're real about what you believe in. Phony people are just by far the worst. If you're just supporting people just because it's cool right now, I have zero respect for you.
Yeah. All right. So last but not least.
Last question for Light Drizzle.
You can tweak it if you want. If you want, you can tweak that.
Okay.
I think I kind of already asked it. That's why I kind of changed one of your questions.
No, not necessarily, because this question. So first of all, it says what makes you most excited? What do you want to see most in the DCU? Now this isn't just movies. This is character arcs. This is whatever you want.
Yeah. So what makes me most excited is the Flash movie.
Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Flashpoint. Okay.
Not a direct adaptation, but they're going to use that story, and this is what we can end on. Yeah. I think that would be work. So the Flash movie. I think we got to almost everything.
Yeah, didn't you?
Yeah. So the Flash movie is gonna. Reports are in that it's going to restart the DCEU in a way that will transition from the old mess, not knowing where we're going. We're on the bus, but we have no destination. This is going to solidify where we're going, and this is going to open up doors. It's also going to close a couple doors. How do you feel about bringing back Keaton Instead of for the most part, I would have rathered a Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Thomas Wayne than bringing Keaton back.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so there's a small possibility of both because Flashpoint has little to no. We have little to no real.
No story,
on
no
what's
story.
going to happen. As far as what I would like to see, well, let me just say this: by far, out of all the movies, definitely Flashpoint definitely has me the most confused, and it definitely has my most just curiosity. You know, I'm not too excited for it, but I definitely am curious because Flashpoint in itself is a very complex, twisty, turny.
Right. It's gonna
be interesting no matter what.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting for the general audience.
Yes.
But I think now that Marvel's kind of doing the whole time thing, I think it's easier for people to understand that when the comic book movie introduces time travel, you kind of just got to roll with the punches and try to understand. Yes. If you don't understand it in the movie, you just come listen to our show. We'll explain it.
I'll explain everything to you.
So this is going to open up doors that weren't previously open. It'll open up, Robert Pattinson's Batman to maybe cross over. Who knows? I don't think so, but some people want that. But it also it connects the dots and it makes a consistent story move forward.
Yes. Again, I said this earlier, but it's a classic DC move. It is at the end of the day, let's call it like it is. It's a cop out because they've messed up so much in the first phase that there's so much certainty in casting and direction, and just there's a lot of uncertainty. So they need that. But this is DC in general. DC is known for cop-outs, and multiverse and rewrite everything.
Right.
That being said, it's still going to be interesting to see on the big screen a story like Flashpoint. Because as far as that I can think of off at the top of my head, this is the most far-fetched comic book story to be adapted on screen. Because when talking movies, they usually avoid those crazy multiverse, Clone War storylines.
Right, because it gets confusing. To the general audience that doesn't know the story, they're going to be like, wait, what the heck's going on?
Although we are deep, the community is not that.
Why is Wonder Woman evil?
Why is she stabbing a child? Why is she stabbing Billy Batson?
Yeah.
Why did she
Spoiler.
12-year-old boy.
Yeah.
So they need that general audience just for the money aspect of it,
But I think it would be really cool to see alternate versions of Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
Absolutely. But I think we might face that same issue we see with Dwayne with Gal. She's too likable.
Yeah, she is.
People love her.
Yeah,
but I can't see her stabbing a small child. Sorry.
Hey, we will see. We will see. But yeah, so Michael Keaton's back. The Burton verse is coming.
That'd be interesting.
That should be interesting. So I think we'll wrap it up there. Just big drip. Let the people know what our YouTube, what our Facebook.
Okay.
All of our links and everything like that.
Well, first and foremost, let me just do a little outro for the people. I cannot, honestly, I'm having a hard time conveying in words. Thank you so much to anyone and everyone listening. I can't even explain in words how much this means to me.
Yeah, we had fun.
I had fun, and this is huge. Just for me, outside of my aliases, outside of Big Drip, outside of Lord Overthink. For me, Justice Holmes, a person, this is huge. Yeah. This truly is huge. So thank you for everybody listening, everybody following us on Facebook, on Twitter.
Yeah, we got a good little following.
I'm gonna give you guys those links, by the way, before we wrap this up.
Yeah, but like you said, I want to say thank you to everyone that took a little chance on us. Again, this is our first one, so let us get our feet wet. Let us shake off our sea legs.
Yeah.
It is intimidating with all the lights and stuff. How you feel?
As time goes on, definitely now towards the better half of it, I feel much more comfortable. At first, of course there's that pressure, but I do feel much more comfortable, and I really can see this being a regular thing where we just sit down, we just go.
Yeah, I mean,
great.
Again, we do this, we just do this
in general.
So we thought, let's take a chance. And if you're ever thinking about it, just do it. Because Shia LaBeouf. No, I'm just kidding. But,
What?
Shia LaBeouf, just do it.
Oh.
You never seen that meme?
Yes, no, I have. You just lost me for it.
But, it's very special to us. And if you're ever thinking about starting a podcast or just doing something, take a shot. It's actually really fun. The creative process. We didn't know if what we would do. There's a vast lineup of, Marvel news, DC news. So we want to do everything. We want to be your go-to for everything. If there's a movie you want to talk about, throw it in the comments.
No, man. Yeah. Talk to us.
Talk to us.
We're friendly. Big Drip and Lake Drizzle are very much people.
Yeah.
So by all means, if you have any requests, curiosities, questions, and/or criticisms, I can take it. I have some thick skin.
Yeah.
Let us know, please. By all means, the more you tell us, the better the show can be.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get some people on here that are...
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that are a little bit more known than us, and they can give us some tips, tricks, and flicks to talk about, and just give us a little run-through on how they got started. And
now, of course, that will be pandemic safe,
through Skype
most
or...
likely through Skype, and if we do ever have anybody physically here, we'll be 6 feet, and we'll be masked up, sanitized up.
And they will be getting tested before they come in. So,
at very least, their temperature taken before you come in.
Yeah. So, with that said, what are the links? Because I forget them all the time.
Yeah. I have them on paper. Big Drip's memory ain't that great. So we're on YouTube.com. And
That's...
POP ! Culture Corner. Now, that's our page, and our video will be up there tomorrow, 5 p.m. sharp.
Today.
Today, of course, if you're listening. It's already up there. Duh.
Yeah, today.
Me. But go ahead and give that a like and subscribe, because I know you liked it, and I know you want to see more.
Yeah.
We're also on Facebook.com. That's /Pop Culture Corner 2020. You see the red logo. That's us.
That's us, baby.
Twitter. Oh, we're also on Twitter. That's News to Big Drip. We're on Twitter.com as well, and that's /Pop _ Culture 2020. And you go ahead and give us I don't know how Twitter works. What is that?
It's the same thing. It's like a follow.
Yeah, go ahead and follow us.
And then if you're listening on Spotify, share, like, subscribe,
Please.
everything like that. Anything helps.
Any and everything.
So with that said, guys, we will be back next Sunday. We will be posting some updates throughout the week on our social medias.
So make sure you follow us, because you want to see any breaking news, we're on top of it. Any trailers, we're on top of it. And just plain old entertainment, just us kind of hanging out. I'm thinking about taking random videos of us, kind of tease what's going on next week.
And we got a little behind the scenes footage that I think will be really funny. It's it's anything that's not the actual show. You can probably imagine it's not safe for work or your children.
Yeah.
So
Big Drip's getting freaky nasty.
Yeah. So this PG-13. Other stuff, possibly rated R or X or whatever the highest rating can be.
So
there's no nudity. Just kidding.
So rated X, just so you know, like Drizzle, that's gonna run you about $30 an hour. If you want it weird.
All right. So thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next Sunday, same time, same place. Signing off.
This is Big Drip signing off to the people. Peace and love. Chicken grease.
Peace
I
and
love you all.